So Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead has released on Netflix, and after posting my review and explained video on the film, there are many details that myself and others have noticed on rewatch. From the robot zombies to the alien origins and much more, Zack Snyder's latest film contains hidden details that set up the potential sequels that the director has already planned. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of these Easter eggs in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead and discussing how it could link into a sequel down the line. This analysis will contain spoilers, so if you do happen to be someone who hasn't seen the film yet, then I would recommend watching this video after you've seen it. But if you want to keep up to date on any of my future content on Zack Snyder's latest film, then don't forget to support this video by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description down below. But without further ado, let's dive into the robot zombies, the alien Easter eggs, and more in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. So on the surface, Army of the Dead is a pretty straightforward zombie movie, but with close attention to detail, and viewers will see that it does introduce a big robot zombie mystery that will apparently be answered in a future sequel. While Army of the Dead's heist inside of a zombie quarantine zone plot is actually pretty simple to follow, there are quite a few things that Snyder does with the undead that have never really been done before. Some things are more apparent than others, such as the more intelligent alpha zombies that can reproduce, which means they no longer have to bite human victims to grow their numbers. They can simply make more zombies the old-fashioned way to build out their kingdom. And the fact that alphas also ride horses, put on helmet armor, carry weapons, and even communicate with each other means you've got a pretty unique vision of what a zombie movie can be in today's world, regardless of whether you like the project or not. Alphas aren't the only zombies introduced in Army of the Dead, however, as there's a far more mysterious undead creature roaming the Las Vegas casinos of Zack Snyder's new zombie world. This includes there being a robot zombie that appears in one shot of the movie, and which has become the subject of heavy speculation among the director's fans. First of all, is there really a robot zombie in the movie? According to Snyder, there is, and the director even asked a Polygon journalist during an interview if they caught the robot zombie in the movie. You have to look very closely within the blink of an eye to catch the robot cameo, as it takes place during the final quick-paced action cuts of the film. Scott Ward, played by Dave Bautista, and what remains of his squad of thieves fight their way out of the casino at the end of the movie, and when a zombie is shot in the face, it reveals a metallic skull and blue eyes. Features that are often more closely tied to androids or cyborgs in genre fiction. The body also seems to short circuit as it falls to the floor, with a blue flash that also resembles the bluish insides that gush out of the alphas when they're killed. So what exactly is going on here? The movie doesn't reveal the origin of the robot zombie, or if there are others like it, but Snyder did suggest some possibilities in a recent Q&A on Comic Book, saying, if you pay close attention, there's a number of zombies that are clearly not zombies. You see normal zombies, and then you see some robot zombies. Are they monitors that the government has placed among the zombies to monitor them? Are they technology from the other world? What's happening there? We know that the American government of Army of the Dead has secret plans for the alphas trapped inside Las Vegas. While the president wants to make a spectacle out of nuking the city on the 4th of July, the Secretary of Defense is secretly plotting with Hiroyuki Sanada's Bly Tanaka to extract an alpha specimen from the quarantine zone, which the military will use to create a literal Army of the Dead, the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. The robot zombies might have been the government's way to learn more about the undead and their behaviour, and how best to weaponize them against enemy nations. But in his answer, Zack Snyder also teased the other world, which could tie back to the movie's opening scene. At the start of the film, the two soldiers unknowingly transporting Zeus, the original alpha zombie, discuss the shipping container's origin. One soldier suggests to the other that it's from Area 51 and that it might have something to do with aliens. We do see a cool Easter egg to UFOs flying off in the sky at the beginning of the film, but then as we progress later on, this could be why the blood of the alphas that are killed is blue, and why the killed baby in the body of the zombie queen also glows blue for a brief second. While it's never addressed again in the movie, and only implied visually, the opening conversation suggests that Zeus might not be from Earth at all, and that his bite infects his victims with some sort of alien virus that turns them into the smarter alphas. Yet Snyder also hints at an earthly explanation to Polygon, saying, like, is he some sort of covert bioweapon? The same could go for the robot zombie, as it could be man-made or something from another world. Either way, the robot is further proof that not is what it seems in the movie, and maybe Van der Rohe is right when he suggested that someone is messing with the fabric of time. This time loop theory begins to loosely impose itself when the crew reach the sealed vault, and spot several skeletons slumped in the corner of the room. In that moment, it is believed that the skeletons belong to a previous crew who had attempted to retrieve the cache, but failed. However, the skeletons are wearing the same items of clothing that the gang presently have on, from Scott's red bandana to Maria's key necklace. Maria's necklace is particularly an interesting study, however, because of the skeleton version of her only bears one with 3 keyholes, while there are 4 in that of the Maria we know. Could this mean that before now, the dead skeleton crew were on their 3rd attempt at breaking into the vault, and now Scott and his crew have made it further than before? It could be us in another timeline, and we are caught in some infinite loop fighting and dying, says Van der Rohe to Ludwig, referring to Bly Tanaka as a puppet master or god, and that they are simply pawns in some perverse game where they are destined to repeat their failures. Finally, in some mind-bending ironic reveal, it all begins, he concludes. This implicates Tanaka as knowing more than what he's already told them. Van der Rohe himself is a bit of a mystery too, already knowing about the alphas within the zombie order before Lily mentions them as they proceed towards the land of the undead. It's almost like he has memories from a previous loop. With the way time loops operate in movies or TV shows, there's usually a reset event, something that reels a narrative sequence back towards the beginning, and in Army of the Dead, the nuclear bomb dropped on Las Vegas, along with its zombies, could be the event that restarts the sequence. But in this particular loop, we know that Ludwig shoves Van der Rohe inside the vault to save him as zombie King Zeus attacks them, a vault that Ludwig previously said led to another realm. So it could not only be a time loop, but also a multiverse, as Van der Rohe wasn't meant to survive. Interestingly, Ludwig, the safecracker who isn't much of a fighter like the others, had been shown earlier in the movie having shooting practice with Van der Rohe before the mission. The targets are empty bottles, and while it would have been reasonable for him to misfire, Ludwig shoots each bottle with a single shot. What is also interesting about the movie's time loop theory is that it appears that all the characters have their timelines happening at the same time, merging in some way. In fact, Snyder has come out to give the theory a bit of credibility, as he told the YouTuber The Film Junkie, "There's a chance, and I'm not saying that this is 100% true, and in some ways it's not, but the group at the table, I mean, it's pretty subtle, but that's them also at the table. They get further every time, possibly. Is this the time they made it all the way to the money?" But the time loop theory, if true, also establishes this world as a potential multiverse that could see it spin off in numerous directions. The only drawback is that time loops can be complicated, but maybe Snyder might make it interesting in this instance. When I watched the movie, I saw it more as a cool message to the continuing failure of humanity in a dire situation, but again, we might see this developed more in sequels as an actual plot device. Ultimately, Snyder is saving the answers for the larger cinematic universe he's creating for Netflix. An anime prequel series called Army of the Dead Lost Vegas will focus on the start of the outbreak, an event that is only briefly covered in the opening credits. In an interview with IndieWire, producer Deborah Snyder teased that the movie could explore the alien plotline further, with them coming from Area 51, so maybe there's a sci-fi element to it. Meanwhile, Army of Thieves, a prequel directed by and starring Matthias Schweighöfer, follows German safecracker Ludwig and what he was up to before joining Scott's team. Deborah Snyder described Thieves as a romantic comedy heist film that's not like a zombie movie. It's more like The Italian Job, but it takes place in a world where these zombies exist in America, and it's causing instability in the banking institutions. The movie is due out later this year, but what about Army of the Dead 2? Zack Snyder told Polygon that he'd make it in a second, and that the idea he has planned is crazy. He said, "Once we knew Vandero was bit and he's going to Mexico City, I was like, you know what's gonna happen, and then I just went on a tear." And by the time it ended, Shay, the co-writer, was intrigued. If a sequel does happen in the near future, then we'll have to see how all of these Easter eggs link in and how Snyder continues to shape the world he has already established. I'm looking forward to hearing what else you picked out from the film, so don't forget to let me know down below in the comment section, alongside what you think it could mean for Army of the Dead 2. For more videos on Zack Snyder's work, including Army of the Dead, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.